Hi guys, I'm starting on my phone. It's dead. Let me put it on the charger. Hey, okay, let's get into it. I
Guys,
heard
it is
Rhea Ripley might be
WrestleMania
injured.
here, back with some more
Might
news.
have to
Join us now
vacate.
as we look at the wildest news
We'll
stories and
see what's
rumors you
going
need to
on.
know, including The Rock teases his. Our first story looks at The Rock gone until WrestleMania 41. Or was The Rock gone from WWE until WrestleMania 41? Well, that's the impression The Rock has given following a post on Instagram updating the millions and millions of Final Boss fans on his physical status following WrestleMania. The Rock told fans that while he felt banged up, he didn't suffer any injuries. The Final Boss discussed the intense 12-week regime he underwent in preparation for the Showcase of the Immortals. Some fans were concerned that The Rock might get injured during his match, and considering he worked a nearly 45-minute match, it's all the more impressive he didn't. But The Rock made it clear he's coming back. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes, the new Universal Champion. As I said, when the Final Boss returns, he's coming back for you. Make you bleed again, boy. As for when the WWE Universe will see him again, The Rock told fans, now my sights are set on the next WrestleMania, but that's down the road, a conversation down the road. While The Rock could pop in for an appearance on TV or at a PLE, it's unclear when his schedule will allow him to wrestle since he has at least 2 films to make. When do you guys think The Rock will actually wrestle again? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, some breaking news as Rhea Ripley may be forced to vacate her title. Now, unfortunately, there's incredibly sad news that's just been reported by PW Insider. As it just reported, WWE Women's World Champion Rhea Ripley was injured on last week's Raw. PWInsider.com has learned from multiple sources. Ripley was involved in a backstage brawl with Liv Morgan. PWInsider.com has heard that the issue is severe enough that the talk internally is that Ripley may be forced to vacate her championship, possibly as soon as tonight's episode of Raw. Now this sucks because Rhea Ripley has been a great champion so far, and to cut it so prematurely is a real shame. Surely enough, if she has to vacate her title, WWE could have some sort of tournament, but who should be the next World Women's Champion? Let us know in the comments down below. We're also wishing Rhea Ripley a fast recovery. Next up, big changes to the WWE draft. The WWE draft is coming soon, and not only are they looking to piggyback on the hype surrounding the NFL draft, which actually takes place around the same time, but it's looking to shape things up on all 3 brands. According to a recent Fightful Select report, there have been a few question marks over NXT's role in the draft, one being the possibility of main roster talent being drafted to NXT. Fightful Select's Corey Brennan has learned from sources close to the NXT creative process that this is not just a tease, with the Final Testament and Ivar's appearances on past Tuesday's edition of NXT setting the stage for other main roster stars to make the jump during the event as part of a renewed focus on making NXT the 3rd brand of WWE once again. While the WWE has occasionally discussed turning NXT into a 3rd brand on the same level as Raw,
I hope they don't put all the main roster stars that's on NXT. Like, they'll permanently get drafted. That'd be awful, like, because they'd be like, they ain't really do nothing. They just say, all the superstars that appear on NXT are on NXT, and it's like, it's kind of nothing new, but we'll see.
On SmackDown, as opposed to coming off as a developmental territory, the WWE has never done anything to make this official. However, the WWE has brought in main roster talent to the Black and Gold brand for limited appearances and in some cases, an addition to the roster. This resulted in higher ratings for NXT, and some observers believed it helped increase the ratings enough to land NXT a hefty rights fee increase through its upcoming deal with CW. Next up, several NXT stars coming to the main roster. In addition to Raw and SmackDown superstars possibly heading to NXT, it appears that several NXT superstars could soon appear on the Red and Blue brands. A new report from Fightful Select notes, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov are said to be a lock for the main roster in the draft, while NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez's status for the draft still remains up in the air. WWE have also discussed bringing up Tony D'Angelo's family and Baron Corbin to the main roster. Corbin enjoyed a bit of a career resurgence on NXT after winning the NXT Tag Team Championship with Bron Breakker. However, is the WWE going to push Corbin if he returns to the main roster? If not, it may be better to leave him on NXT. What do you guys think? Next up, did Stephanie send a message to Vince McMahon? Stephanie McMahon's appearance at the Hall
But
of Fame and her opening up night 2 of WrestleMania still has fans talking. And while
Triple
the
H
current
is in
belief is that
charge.
she's not returning to WWE, former WWE talent Jonathan Coachman recently shared his belief that Stephanie sent a strong message to her father when
But
she
knowing
appeared at the
Triple
Hall
H, he
of
would probably
Fame
make him
during
look
Paul
good,
Heyman's
but
acceptance
lose every
speech.
match.
We're Ren,
If that's
here
the
to
case,
shake
just
up
leave
the
him in
shakers.
NXT.
Luxury for all, affordable for all.
Heyman lauded Triple H for his efforts in the WWE, and Coachman believes when Stephanie sat there next to Triple H, with Triple H getting his flowers, I thought that was a very clear message to her father that I'm not you, and you're not going to make me and my brother Shane, who's been out of business for several years, run away because she quit like a year ago. And to me, that was a more powerful statement than what Paul Heyman did. It was Stephanie sitting there, and we haven't seen her for a year. You picked that night to come back? Didn't you think that was calculated? Do you guys agree with Coach? Did Stephanie actually send a message to Vince McMahon? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, the sad state of AEW. Now, is AEW doomed? While that's a question more fans are raising as AEW continues to struggle to fill arenas, a recent video is making top WWE superstars can bring home some serious bucks, but what about the lower tier superstars who work on guaranteed contracts? If former WWE superstars Mason Mansoor are to be believed, the WWE has a system in place that allows it to minimize previous bonuses such as merch payoffs. Depending on a wrestler's popularity, they could supplement their income nicely with the added revenue from selling items such as clothing and action figures, but now not so much. Once upon a time, superstars working deals with a guaranteed base salary could enjoy a bump in their pay through merch sales and bonuses for appearing on shows such as WrestleMania. However, that's changed, and during their appearance on the former WWE superstar Maven's YouTube channel, the former Maximum Male models discussed how the WWE bypasses past bonuses. Mace discussed the WWE's bucket system. It's a little bit different now because what they have now, it's called the bucket system. So do we still have a downside in everything you do? Actually, you get paid technically, and it goes into this bucket. But as long as your bucket doesn't overflow, you just get your downside. Mansoor explained how. It's very complicated, but this is basically what it means. Every time you work a show, you get an invisible payment that doesn't actually go into your bank account. Okay, into a metaphorical bucket. The top of the bucket is your downside. If your downside is $120,000, and let's say every time you work a show, they make an invisible payment of $1,000, now you don't see that $1,000 until you make $125,000 worth of bookings on top of your downside. So anything above $125,000 that you made is extra as a bonus for you. As for merchandise royalties, Mason Mansoor explained that merchandise sales go into an imaginary bucket, so unless a superstar's revenue exceeds their downside, they don't see a dime. As Mason Mansoor described things, just how much superstars get paid for individual shows is arbitrary, which makes it ripe for abuse by WWE officials. The wizard on the mountain that decides who gets paid what, and get this, if you were working a lot of house shows, if you were on TV every week, if you were on every pay-per-view and you were selling a lot of t-shirts, something that happened pretty frequently is all of a sudden you stopped going on house shows. Mason Mansoor explained there are still exceptions, with both men noting they receive a sizable payout for appearing at Saudi Arabia shows. However, if the WWE can nickel and dime talent, it's easy to see how the WWE can make it difficult for superstars to make anything more than their base salary. This situation is even worse because the WWE has increased its roster, which makes it easier for the promotion to limit wrestlers' appearances. What do you guys think of this pay structure? Next up, is the WWE's wellness policy a joke? Just how seriously does the WWE administer its wellness policy that is supposed to ensure wrestlers don't use illicit drugs, including performance-enhancing drugs? Well, not according to Mason Mansoor, who commented on the policy during their chat with Maven, sarcastically questioning how random it is and how there are different ways to get around it, including requesting testosterone replacement drugs. It's just one of those things where, yes, we have a wellness policy, there are ways to get around it. Everybody knows that because testosterone replacement therapy is something that people do. The two former superstars explained if you get a prescription, WWE doctors are like, well, you've got a prescription. I'm not going to say who obviously, but I do know guys who would right before getting their blood work done to test how much testosterone they had, they would eat a ton of junk food, McDonald's, shakes, they wouldn't sleep, they'd jerk off, so the test would be rock bottom. This isn't the first time that WWE's wellness policy effectiveness has been questioned, and it's unlikely to be the last.
Oh yeah, because
next up, Rikishi defends his son's WrestleMania performance. While J&J Uso's highly anticipated WrestleMania match was a letdown for many fans, J&J's dad Rikishi is defending his son's performance. Rikishi recently shared his thoughts on the match during an episode of his podcast, Rikishi Fatu Off the Top, and how the WWE could have improved it. First of all, I'd like to send a big shout out to my sons to be able to finally get their dream match in this industry they've been wanting for a long time. I felt they went out there, they delivered. I only wish they could have had a little bit more time. Now, the match went nearly 12 minutes, and while the WWE could have given them more time, the twins didn't light things up during the time given. Rikishi explained another element that could have enhanced the match. I felt like there was a missing puzzle there, which is the guy who you're listening to now. Hashtag I never got to call Rikishi. So I felt they did great without me, but just to add a little more into the match, it would have been a great opportunity not only for the fans, but also myself, on a personal level, to be able to grace the stage with your kids. That's a memory that will forever be in stone in our family. But at the end of the day, I don't make the calls. I didn't lie about it. I was right close by. I was in Philadelphia. Everybody knew where I was, but I never got the call. The WWE Universe would likely have responded well to Rikishi playing a part in the storyline. Do you think it could have helped? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, WWE deletes bizarre tweet. It looks like someone is playing tricks with the WWE's X account. At least that's the impression WWE wants to create. WWE deleted a tweet full of question marks. Although they deleted the tweet, many fans believe it's part of the build-up for the return of Uncle Howdy. As we reported in our previous news video, fans may also see the debut of the Wyatt Six. And finally, Biggie goes public with his relationship. Last but not least, congrats to Biggie and Chrissy on the announcement that they are officially a couple. Biggie took to social media to announce their relationship status with some hilarious photos. But there you have it, folks, the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.
I'm happy for Biggie. Thank y'all for watching. I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Y'all stay tuned. We out of here.